Who doesn't want to talk about the politics around death? So, the recent killing of Charlie Kirk was a terrible sight. Political violence is just not something that you want in your democratic country, or any country for that matter. But this brings us to today, where there's a little bit of controversy about the recently passed Charlie Kirk bill condemning violence and then some. Now let's talk about the then some, because scene. Ooh, we come over here. There's a common sentiment shared by conservative commentators is how when Melissa Horman and her husband were brutally murdered, there was a universal signing of the bill. However, with Charlie Kirk, there were 96 Democrats in it. And it is a little misleading because, like, who wouldn't want to just condemn murder? Well, that's because of a few parts of the bill. So we go over our best source, ChatGPT, see that it paid tribute to his life, calling him a conservative activist who energized many young voters. The resolution labeled him as a courageous American patriot. Now, if you don't know one thing about Kirk, is that he was very political. And that would mean that the opposing political institution to him probably wouldn't say that he was a courageous American patriot. Especially when many on the left, maybe rightfully so, say that he came in with a very toxic form of debating and not the respectful kind that many of his supporters claim he had. For example, when he said many things about George Floyd or MLK, or how they say his focus on putting blame on minorities instead of systems of oppression. Now, many people completely agree with what he said there, but obviously the political left is going to have a different agreement to this. And so many of them said, while we condemn political violence, he should not have been shot for his free speech. And actually, the Republican government is making some pretty big attacks against free speech with the recent Jimmy Kimmel situation, which I just recently recorded a sin about. That's crazy. But we don't have to agree that he's a courageous American patriot who did great things. We think he did terrible things. We think that he spread a message to many young voters that was terrible. So basically, that's just makes you sad when you just see misinformation and little posts that are spread just to make people angry and get views on X. Here we go. Just keep talking about politics. Maybe it'll get better eventually.